like to share with you a quote by the poet T.S. Eliot. It says, "For last year's words belong to last year's language, and next year's words await another voice. And to make an end is to make a beginning." To me, this says what yoga is about, to be in the moment. Really, that's what this tells me, to be in the moment, and end is the beginning. Now's the beginning, and it's the end. We're in the present. More simply put, by cartoonist Bill Keane. You might remember him from the Family Circus series of cartoons. He drew those, wrote those. He says, "Yesterday's the past, tomorrow's the future, but today is a gift. That's why it's called the present." Just sounds like a cartoonist, doesn't it? So aptly put. So let's be in the present. Let's be in the moment. Sit up tall, open up your airways, perhaps close your eyes and focus on your breath for the next few moments. Focus on the present. Be aware of your body. Start by getting a rhythm to your breathing. Maybe even kick off a metronome in your head. And then as you focus inward, allow your breath to become deeper, longer, and slower. Remembering the diaphragm video and what your diaphragm is doing with each breath. Feel your rib cage expand with your breath. Feel the back expand with your breath. Remember, it's not belly breathing, it's diaphragmatic breathing. Please take your time and enjoy 2 or 3 more long, slow, deep yoga breaths. And then return your breathing back to normal. And now let's please take a deep breath together and Om in. Om. Om Balu, Satguru Bhagavan Ki. The divine is the inner teacher. I have to watch myself and be careful when I say bring your breathing back to normal. I should be saying you're normal. There is no normal. Normal doesn't exist. It's your normal. Right, Jane? I'm sure you'll agree. Let's start with, we're going to loosen up our shoulders today a lot, so be careful. Shoulders can be tricky. And let's start with bringing our arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. So reach up with your fingertips, take a deep breath, inhale. Exhale, bring your arms down in front of you, parallel to the mat. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bring your hands back down, parallel to the mat. And once more, inhale, back up. This time, as we exhale, we're going to let our right hand float down and our left arm go by the ear. And then we're going to flow back up to center and then let the left hand float down, right arm by the ear. And then float back to center. And again, right hand down. Float back to center. Again, left hand down. And then float back to center, right hand down. And this time we'll pause for a couple of breaths here, pushing down into your right sit bone, perhaps looking up underneath of your arm, pushing that shoulder back. Feel how your ribs are opening. Several deep breaths here. And now push into the right hand, float back up to center, and let the left hand drop down. Right arm by the ear. Push down in the right sit bone. Look up underneath the armpit and take several deep breaths here. Push into the left hand, come back up to center, reach up, inhale. Exhale, bring your arms in a T, relax your shoulders down now, and then take a deep breath here. And then as you exhale, turn to the right, left hand on the right leg, right hand behind. Push your shoulders down from the ears, down your shoulder blades, down your back as you twist. Make sure your spine stays vertical and allow your left hip to scoot forward just a little bit. Take a breath here. Exhale, slowly return back to center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your arms in a T. And now relax your shoulders down. Inhale here. Exhale, twist left. Right hand on the left leg, left hand behind. Push your shoulders down and back. And breathe. One more breath in here. Exhale, slowly turn back to center. Please now come on to your hands and knees in table position. Square up your table legs, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, flat back, keep your head in line with the spine. Take a deep breath here. And as you exhale, sit back towards your heels into a child pose. We're not going to stay here though, so you don't have to put your head all the way down. Inhale back to table slowly. Exhale, tuck toes, tailbone, and chin into your cat position. Arching your back up to the ceiling. Feel your shoulder blades separate here and your spine open. And then inhale as you uncurl everything, drop the belly down and come into your cow. Long, deep, slow breath. Push the shoulders back, tailbone up. And then exhale, sit all the way back to your heels. Make the breath last. Inhale, make the breath last as you come back to table. Exhale, right arm out to the side and up to the ceiling in a twist. Take a couple of breaths here. This is warming up for something we're going to do in just a moment here. Inhale. Exhale, bring that hand down. Inhale. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, push into your hands, come up onto your knees, arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. Take the right hand onto the hip, left arm is up, and then lean into your right hand, supporting your hip. And then inhale back up, both arms, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, arms in a T. Inhale here. Exhale, twist to the right. And now your left hand will land someplace closer to the right side. And you keep on reaching up with the right hand. Push into your left hand and then come all the way back forward and up with your arms. Inhale. Exhale, bring your right arm back to your hip, left arm up, and we're going to rotate the left shoulder back, down, and forward. So be careful if it's painful or pinching your shoulder too much, just do smaller circles out here, okay? And just keep on going, rotating the shoulder. A couple more times here. And now this time when you come around, let your hand support your low back, match it with your other hand and lean back. Open the chest upward. Think about your shoulder blades coming together on your back. Push your thighs forward and breathe here. Come back to center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come back to table. Inhale. Exhale, sit back towards your heels in child pose. Inhale, slowly make the breath last, come back to table. Exhale into your cat, tucking the toes, stretching the feet, arching your spine. Slow inhale, make the breath last as you uncurl your toes, drop the belly down, push your shoulders back and come into your cow pose. And then exhale slowly, slowly, slowly as you sit back to your heels in child pose. Inhale slowly to table. Exhale, left arm out to the side and up toward the ceiling. Twist. Inhale. Exhale, bring that hand down. Inhale here. Exhale, bend the elbows, push into your hands, come up to your knees. Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. Left hand will go on the hip, right arm by the ear, and we're going to lean into the left. And then come back upright, both arms up, inhale. Exhale, arms in a T. Inhale. Exhale, twist left. Inhale. Exhale, right hand comes down toward the left corner table leg, left arm keeps on reaching up. Inhale, push into the right hand, come all the way back up. Left hand returns to the hip. Right arm will now rotate back and down and forward and up and back and down, forward, back, down, forward. Really feel that shoulder loosen up here. And this time when you come back, support your low back with your hands, fingers pointing down, push your thighs forward, open the chest up to the ceiling, sort of squeeze your elbows together behind you. And then come back upright, reach up, inhale, exhale, hands come all the way back down to table. And from here, we're going to come onto our bellies. Start with your legs wide on the mat and your hands maybe outside of the mat. So they're perpendicular to your body, lined up at the shoulder level. Push into your pelvis and then roll your heels outward so that you maybe feel your sit bones separate, widen your sit bones, and then push into your hands as you come up to a low, wide cobra. And when you're up here, think about bringing your shoulders down your back. Breathe, stretching out the back here, and then come all the way back down. Now bring your hands underneath of the shoulders, tuck your elbows right by the sides here so that you're almost touching your ribs. And now walk your feet in just a little bit, as much as you feel comfortable doing. They're not together, but at least hip width distance apart. Push into the thighs, push into the pelvis, roll your heels out and come into a cobra, keeping your elbows by your sides this time. Bring your shoulders down your back. Think about your neck being long. Breathe, think about widening your sit bones, and then come all the way back down. Good. And now I'm going to have you come onto your backs. We're going to do some core work here. So come onto your back, start with bent knees. Relax your shoulders, relax your chest. Start with both knees bent, plant your left foot, and then raise your right foot up toward the ceiling. Circle that ankle in one direction, and then reverse the circle in the other direction, warming up our legs and feet before we come to standing. And then pause. Flex the foot. Now, lengthen the left leg long on the mat. We're going to dip this right leg down, and as you do so, push down into your low back, and don't let that low back come up. And you don't have to bring the leg all the way down, just bring it down, inches from the floor. And before you hit down, bring the foot back up. So this was a flexed dip. Make sure when you bring the leg down, you push your back into the mat. Think about your ribs coming together in the front of your body as you do that. And we'll go now with a pointed toe. And as your toe points, you're going to go all the way down toward the floor. Hover when you get a few inches over the floor. And then toe pointed still, coming back to the ceiling. And flex the foot, inhale, exhale, push into your back, lower the foot flexed. Raise the foot back up. And point, inhale, exhale, push the back down as you lower the leg, a few inches from the floor. Keep your foot pointed, come all the way back up, and bring the foot down. Bent knees. Both knees returning to bent position. This time, bring your left leg up. Circle that ankle around one direction. And then the opposite direction. And then pause with your foot flexed up toward the ceiling. Lengthen your right leg long on the mat. And as we lower the flexed left foot, we're going to push the back into the mat, slowly lower. The slower you go, the more work you're going to get in the core muscles. And then come back up with the flexed foot. Point the foot and then lower with a pointed foot. Come back up with a pointed foot and then flex. Take a deep breath, push the back down, lower. As you exhale, bring it back up as a flexed foot. And then point, take a deep breath and lower the pointed foot, push the back into the mat. And then come all the way back up to the ceiling. And bring both feet back to the mat. Hug your knees into your chest. Roll around, release your back. And roll to one side or the other. So you're going to come back into your table position. Okay, so move sort of back on your mat so that you have room to walk your hands forward. Coming into the puppy pose. So from your table, keep your bottom up in the air and walk your hands forward as far as they can go. Your head's gonna just rest between your arms, and you're gonna keep your forearms up off the mat. So your forearms are up, squeeze your forearms together and feel your shoulders roll out, and let your chest just sink down as you stick your tailbone up. Breathe here, puppy pose. Spread your fingers wide as if you were going to do a downward dog. And then come back to table, walk the hands back underneath of you. Shift your weight forward and come into upward dog with your knees on the mat. So now your shoulders are going to go down your back, neck is nice and long, chest is open forward, upward facing dog, then back to table. Tuck the toes under and come to a downward facing dog, Adho Mukha. First downward dog. Squeeze the forearms toward each other, widen the fingers, stick the tailbone way up in the air. Feel your back stretch, feel your shoulders roll out. Take a deep breath and then come back down onto your knees into table position and sit back to your heels in child pose. We'll do that series once more, coming back to table. Walk the hands forward into puppy pose. Tailbone way up in the air, squeeze, spread your fingers, squeeze your forearms toward each other, roll the shoulders out. Let your head just melt between your arms. And walk your hands back to table underneath of your shoulders. Shift your weight forward into your upward facing dog. Bring your shoulders down the back, neck is nice and long, chest is open. Back to table, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Knees come back down to table and back to child pose. Come back to table, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Bend the knees and walk up to your hands. And then very slowly rise up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms in a T, Anjali Mudra. And Tadasana, mountain pose. Breathe and be in the present because it's a gift. Okay, widen your feet on the mat to the edges of your sticky mat. Bring your arms overhead and then lace your fingers together over your head. Inhale. Exhale, lean to the right, crescenting your body, keeping it in the same plane as if you were leaning against the wall. And then bring your hands back to center. Release your hands into a T and then lace your fingers behind you, same as you just had. Pull your hands away from your bottom, pull your shoulders down from your ears, bend the knees and bow forward. Bring your fists up toward the ceiling. Slowly come back upright. Release your hands from behind you. Bring it up, Urdhva Hastasana. Lace your fingers. See if you can put the opposite thumb on top this time. And we're going to crescent over to the left. And then back to center. Release your hands. Clasp them behind you. Opposite thumb on top. Pull away from your bottom. Pull down from your ears. Bend the knees and bow forward. Fists going toward the ceiling. Slowly come up. Release. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms in a T, Anjali Mudra, and then return to your mountain pose with your feet underneath your hips, the shoulders down, chest open, head right on top of the shoulders, and be in the moment. Breathe. Okay, we're going to do a swinging chair. If you're not familiar with this, or if you don't remember what I'm talking about, it's going to look like this. We're going to come into a chair pose, and then we're going to swing our arms down. We're not going to go quite this fast, but we're going to swing our arms down, bring our arms up behind us with the fingers pointing to the ceiling, straightening the legs as much as you can, and then swing the arms back down like gorilla arms. Let them hang here for a moment, and then we're going to swing back up through our chair and come all the way back up. And we will repeat that. Starting in mountain pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, come into your chair pose. We'll pause here for a breath or two. Depending on how your shoulders feel, you can bring your arms in front. If your shoulders are okay with them being up, that's good too. Inhale. Exhale, swing the arms down as you straighten your legs. Bring the fingertips up toward the ceiling. Take a deep breath here. And as you exhale, bend the knees, bring your hands down, swing your arms like gorilla arms. And then slowly, as you bend your knees more, come back up through chair. And all the way back up, inhale. Exhale, come back to chair. Pause a breath or two here. Inhale. Exhale. Swing your arms down, straighten the legs, fingers point up toward the ceiling. Swinging chair. Inhale here. Exhale, bend the knees, let your arms come down and dangle, gorilla arms. And then bend your knees a little more and come up through chair. And then all the way back up, inhale. Exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. And back to Tadasana, mountain pose. And breathe. Vrikshasana, tree pose, our one-legged balance for today. Everybody knows what this is about. You cock one leg out to the side so that you're opening one hip, but that foot can come inside the leg anywhere besides your knee. And then you just bring your hands to wherever position you want. Focus on your drishti and breathe. If you want, you can raise your arms. Totally up to you what you do here with your hands. And then release. Shake all that out. Every side is different. If you're like me, you would have started on your easier side, which is my tendency. So now I'm on the more challenging side. Take your time, find your focal point. And when you're ready, come into your tree. And when you've had enough fun, come on down, shake it all out. And if you have stepped off your mat, come on back to your mat. To Tadasana. We'll do a little bit of a flow. If you want to use blocks here, have them beside your feet. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees and come all the way down with your hands. Inhale here. Exhale, step your right foot back. Bring your right knee down, patting it accordingly. And arms come up overhead. So this is our Anjaneyasana. Hey, I like your dog. Grab opposite elbows with your left arm on top of right, and then just push those elbows back. Keep the chest open, keep pushing down your tailbone toward the back of your mat so you're not pinching your low back. And breathe. Release the elbows. Inhale, open the arms in a T. Exhale, twist to the right. Bring your front palm up and over your head. Your right arm is going to wrap behind you, and you're going to use your forearm to support your low back as you lean backwards. Reverse crescent. Swing both arms forward again. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the left, hooking your right elbow outside the left leg. Now, focus on something here. Tighten up your core muscles. Make sure that your knee is lined up over the ankle. You don't want your knee forward of the ankle here because we're going to pick up our back knee. So tuck your back toes, pick up the back knee, keep the twist. Now, keep your twist. Let your right hand float down to the mat, and your left arm is going to come up to the ceiling. Now bring the left hand down, frame your foot so that you're in your runner's lunge. Step back to a full plank. And from here, come into an upward facing dog. And then tuck toes, downward facing dog. Either walk up to your hands or swing your right leg up behind you and swing it up between the hands and step up. Slowly come on up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. And pause for a couple of breaths in Tadasana. All right, reach up, inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, fold. Inhale. Exhale, left foot steps back. Left knee comes down, patting it accordingly. And arms come forward and up. Now, if your left knee is down, you've got more of a base of support. So the front knee is not quite as imperative to stay above the ankle, but you want to maybe situate it there knowing that's what we're going to be. Grab opposite elbows with the right arm on top of left. Bring the arms behind the ears. Keep your neck soft as you do so. I love dog yoga. Gabrielle, I'm sure your dog's with you too. I know David's is. Jane, maybe you too. Inhale, reach up, release. Exhale, arms in a T. Inhale here. Exhale, twist to the right. Right palm, twist to the left. Sorry, right palm faces up, comes over your head. The left arm wraps behind you. Support your lower back as you reverse your crescent. Slowly unwind, back forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to twist now to the right, hooking our left elbow. This is when you want to make sure your knee's above the ankle because it's a lot of stress on the knee as we bend our left toes and pick up our left knee off the mat as we keep our twist. Keeping the twist, let your left hand float down to the mat. The right arm goes up toward the ceiling. Right hand comes down to your runner's lunge. Step back to plank. Upward facing dog. And downward dog. Either walk up to your hands from here or left leg kicks up behind and swing it up between your hands. Step up. Slowly come on up. Inhale. Exhale. Arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. And come back to Tadasana, mountain pose. Be in the present. One more flow, and then we'll come back down to the mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, fold. Inhale here. Exhale, step your right foot back and plant the right heel to prepare your body for coming up into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana One. So the front knees bent, your feet are hip width distance apart. Plant the back foot to make sure that it's firmly planted, equal weight in both feet. Think about bringing your right hip forward, push your left femur back into the socket there, and open your arms at a T. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to hug ourselves with the right arm on top of the left arm. Bring the elbows up to shoulder height and bring your forearms together into your eagle arms. Push your forearms away so you really feel your shoulder blades on your back open. Release your eagle arms, come back up, Warrior One, with your hands up toward the ceiling. Inhale, exhale, pivot onto your back toes and bring your hands down to the mat, to your runner's lunge. Step back to plank. Upward facing dog, knees can be down or up. Downward facing dog. Inhale, either walk up to your hands or kick your right leg up. Exhale, swing it up between the hands. Step up. Slowly come on up. Inhale. Exhale, arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. And Tadasana. Pause. Breathe. Okay, ready for the last side here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, fold. Inhale. Exhale, left foot steps back. Plant the left heel. Come into Warrior One. Your feet are hip width distance apart or wider even. Push weight into the back heel. If your outside edge of your back foot can't be firmly on the mat, just decrease your stance between the feet. Okay, open arms in a T. We're going to hug ourselves left arm over right this time. Forearms come together into eagle arms. Keep thinking about your tailbone going toward the back of the mat. Stabilize your front knee, push your forearms away. Keep your neck soft. Release your eagle arms. Come back up, inhale. Pivot onto your back toes. Bring your hands down to runner's lunge and then step back to plank. Upward facing dog. And then downward dog. From here, either walk up to your hands or swing your left foot up and bring it between the hands. Step up. Slowly come on up. Inhale. Exhale. Arms in a T. Anjali Mudra. And Tadasana. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, fold. Step back to your downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then knees come down. Sit back to your heels into child pose. And this time, please rest your forehead on something, whether it be mat, your hands, a bolster, block, blanket. And allow your body to rest. Do whatever it takes to make your body comfortable here. If you need to elevate if your bottom doesn't come all the way back to your heels, that's okay. Please slowly push up. Come seated onto your mat with your knees bent in front of you. And then support your hands behind you in any way you want so that you hold up your back and your chest is nice and open. With your feet about hip width distance apart, we're going to windshield wiper our legs. Knees going to fall to the right, and we're going to look to the left. And then knees come to center, falls to the left, look to the right. Back to center, knees right, look left. Back to center, knees left, look right. Back to center, knees right, and pause here. Now bring your left hand around so that it's next to your right hand, above your right thigh. And we're going to come into a sleeping deer pose by walking our hands down, and you might even want to twist your body toward the back of your mat even a little bit more. And then bring your chest down and rest your forehead on your forearms or a mat or a bolster, blanket, whatever you want to rest your forearms on or rest your head on. And this is supposed to be a comfortable pose, so you might want to move around in your twist to make sure that it's the most comfortable you can make it. Please slowly push back up into your hands and then come back to center, facing forward with your knees bent, and that your knees fall to now the opposite side, and bring your right hand around. So your left heel is near your right knee, and walk your hands back. Your legs are approximately 90 degree angles, and come on down to your sleeping deer, resting your forehead on something, folded arms or your backs of your hands. Okay, please prop back up to your hands and come back to center. And down, come onto your backs with your knees bent. And place your feet approximately hip width distance apart, and place your feet about 1 or 1.5 hand lengths from your bottom. Keep your legs parallel to each other and don't allow your knees to flail out as we come into our bridge pose. So start by locking your elbows by your sides and relaxing your neck, relax the shoulders. Elbows are tucked by your sides, fingers pointing up toward the ceiling to start. Now push into your feet, roll your spine up so you're lifting your hips, rolling your spine up, bringing your chest towards your chin. Maybe walk the shoulders underneath a little bit more when you get to the highest bridge point. Push your hip bones toward your knees to get that stretch. Now you can either keep your hands where they are if you want to lace them underneath of your body and push your pinkies into the mat underneath of you. You can do that if you like. Breathe. If you've clasped your hands, release, bring your fingers back toward the ceiling and slowly lower your spine down. Slowly, 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 slowly. And take your hands to the tops of your thighs. Push your thighs away as you push your back into the mat. Release. Bring your elbows up by your sides again. Plant your feet. We're going to come up into bridge again. So lift your hips, roll the spine up. Keep your head steady. It's important not to turn your head and come into this pose. Tuck your shoulders underneath. Try to get most of your weight onto the tops of your shoulder blades. Push your hip bones towards your knees. And again, you can keep your hands here or lace them underneath of your body. And push your pinkies down into the mat. Release, slowly bring your vertebra down one at a time. And when you hit your hips down, take your hands to your thighs, push your thighs away, push your back into the mat to release it. And now grab a block or a bolster or whatever you have handy to lift your hips and put your sacrum on the block. And you could stay with your feet on the ground if you like, or you can raise your legs up toward the ceiling into your waterfall pose. If you're nearby a wall, you can put your feet up, your legs up against the wall. This is called Viparita Karani, which is a reversing of the energy pose. The inversion reverses the energy in the body, reverses the blood flow, temporarily takes the pressure of gravity off your organs and your spine. If your legs are up, please lower them. Lift your hips and remove your block or bolster, or whatever you have underneath of them. And then walk your feet together and place the soles of your feet together. Let your knees fall out to the sides. Bring your arms in a T. And lift your chin just ever so slightly to open up your throat. So with the bridge pose and the waterfall pose, we had this portion of our body closed up, which is good for many things. Your thyroid, your metabolism. But now we're reversing that and opening our throat just slightly. Please slowly bring the knees together. Lengthen your legs long on the mat. Bring your arms overhead, palms facing up, full body stretch. The backs of your hands can rest on the mat above your head. Let them do that. You want to keep that ability if you have it now, because a lot of people can't do that. Inhale. Exhale, bend your right knee towards your chest and clasp your fingers around your shin and hug the knee in. Inhale here. Exhale, lift your head and tuck your chin, bring your nose towards your knee. And then release. Bring the foot back down, full body stretch, arms overhead, backs of your hands resting on the mat above you. So this is a big shoulder thing. This is why we're doing this now. We've gotten our shoulders all warmed up with this practice, and this is our final shoulder movement. Inhale here. Exhale, bring your right knee into the chest, or wait a minute, left knee into the chest. Clasp your fingers around your shin and hug that knee in. Inhale. Exhale, lift your head, nose to knee. Slowly roll back down. One more full body stretch. Take a deep breath. And then bring both knees in. Clasp your fingers around both shins. Hug your knees in. Inhale. Exhale, lift your head, tuck your chin, lift your shoulders, bring your forehead towards your knees. And then slowly, slowly, slowly unwind, uncurl, bring your feet back to the mat, and do whatever you would like to do with your body to prepare for your final relaxation, Shavasana. As you relax, I'm going to take you on a guided meditation nature tour. Imagine sitting on cool green grass beside a crystal clear lake. See the snow-capped mountains in the distance. A flying insect is coming towards you from the distance. As it nears, you see that it is a beautiful dragonfly. See the sun reflect the colors of the rainbow on its wings as it hovers in front of your eyes. The dragonfly turns and flies over the lake. Visualize that you are flying and follow the dragonfly as it circles the lake. Get close to the water and peer down into it to see the fish swimming. Now imagine wind making ripples on the lake surface. It is no longer still. Visualize the lake becoming a flowing river. Imagine the river as it flows around rocks and gently bends in the terrain. Let your mind follow the river on its journey downstream. Imagine the river as it becomes a waterfall. As the water falls, you soar like a bird over the falls and land lightly on a tree branch at the bottom of the falls. The waterfall collects in a large pool, crystal clear, and becomes still. Float down from the tree branch onto cool green grass. And now you are where you started, sitting on green grass beside a crystal clear lake. Please take a few moments to relax and enjoy the scenery. Please bring your awareness back to the present. Deepen your breathing as you make small movements to gently wake up your body. Now, please bend your knees and roll onto your right side in a fetal position to seal the practice. And now, please, very slowly, keeping a quiet mind, push up to seated. Please join me with the closing chant. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. Victory to the Cat Rock yoga class and to the inner teacher. Jai Shri Satguru Maharaj Ki Jai. Knuckles to my forehead honors God. Knuckles to my chin honors you. Knuckles to my heart honors myself. Namaste.